me tonight. Today, I'm pretty excited. I got my buddy Chris from City Sticker Chris on here today. I'm live in my truck. I just started doing this a little bit ago, Chris, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So thank you for stopping on. And this is your
Sure.
first vertical live?
Yeah, it is actually.
That's cool. Yeah, it's I got a nice live.
Challenged.
Yeah, I got a really nice live setup, but I went on earlier. I sent you the link, and then I went on myself, and then it would show you in the chat. But it's all new to me with guests with this vertical, so I don't know what buttons. Okay, we can hear you now. See, they couldn't hear me. Yeah, what's up, Daniel? IL, thank you for coming in. So I had it on my truck, but I shut my truck off, and the Bluetooth disconnected, so it went silent.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So as you can tell, guys, we're gonna wait to get some people in here. Hit the like button, please, if you haven't. This is my buddy Chris from City Sticker Chris. So IL, if you're in here, well, you are in here. If you could share Chris's link. Chris is working on getting monetized tonight. Tonight we're gonna get him monetized. No, we'll try. But we want him to. We want you guys to go over and watch his playlist to give him some hours. He has the subs, but we want you to sub to him. But watch his playlist. Give him the watch time. He's a couple hundred away, but I really want to get Chris monetized. He works hard on his channel, and he's a really good friend of mine. And I really want to push him and get him up to that monetization platform. That way, the weight's off his shoulders.
Yeah, that would be nice for a few things here.
Daniel from Living MN. What's up, buddy? So what do you think, Chris? What's your first impression of this vertical live? Do you like it?
I mean, it seems okay.
Your camera is unbelievable.
I've got my right, and I'm using that phone holder.
Yeah.
On a little tripod. Came on one of my little spotting scopes.
Yeah, so it's a really cool. Hey, what's up, Fishhead? Thanks for coming in. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the food plots, okay? But before we get to that, Chris, I just wanted to go through, we have my one bait challenge going on right now, mine and John's. So the voting's going on.
I haven't been able because my laptop crashed.
Yeah, I know. That stinks, but hopefully you get up and running again with that. So the one bait challenge, guys, on my community tab, I have 4 of the channels that are on there, and John has 3 of the other channels. I think John has Cranking and Yanking, Bogley's Keeping It Real, and We Go Fishing on there, and then I have the rest of them on mine. So you got to go to both of them. If you want to vote for like those 3 over at John's, you got to go over there and vote for one of them over there, or you can vote for one of them on mine. But all of the videos are linked in both of our community tabs, so you can watch each video, and then you can vote on the video from there. It's only one vote, and it's a percentage of the vote. So that's going on. We're going to let that run for a while. We're not going to tell you when the deadline is right now because John and I want to run it through this week and probably the weekend. This weekend, I'm going up fishing again I was off for 2 weeks at my camp. I'm like itching to get back up or to go fishing. You know what I mean? So if anybody wants to do the off the hook challenge and fish against me this weekend, please email me. I did the one with Lindia, so if you haven't checked that out, go over there. But most importantly, this is Chris's first vertical live, and it looks really good, Chris. I really like it. Bullets, what's up, brother? But
because we tried it out, I think, before, and it didn't work out.
No, well, I think that third party, when you go to like StreamYard or Streamlabs or Facebook, that third party really puts a damper on your bandwidth. So I like to go straight through the YouTube like this. When we're out and about, even when I'm doing live streams, I don't go through StreamYard unless I'm having guests, like when I was doing Lindy and John. And I like this vertical, and I'm going to tell you the reason why I like the verticals as well is because, Chris, you're going to get it put into your shorts. It's going to go into a shorts feed, okay? Now, that's good and bad, okay? Like the shorts feed, I can't tell either, but it's okay. The off the hook, yeah, the off the hook challenge is fishing against me on the live stream, Daniel. And then if you beat me, you win a prize. If I beat you, I just get bragging rights, and it's free to enter. So I have a bunch of stuff on my community tab. If you want to go check that out, you just email me and we pick a time, and it's a 2-hour time frame for bass only. So getting back to the live stream, Chris, and I want to explain this to you and then the people in here too. Carolina Kind Family Homestead, how are you? Hunting and stuff. Hey, what's up? Bullets and Burby. Hey guys, real quick again, I'm going to reinstate Chris again. Make sure you go over to Chris, City Sticker Chris. Hunting and stuff. I don't know why you don't have a moderator thing here. Why the heck?
Hey, okay. John.
There we go. So if somebody could please share Chris, City Sticker Chris's link, we're trying to get him monetized. He needs his watch hours. He's got his subs, but I'd appreciate if you guys would go over. If you're not subbed to Chris, go over and sub to City Sticker Chris, and please run his. You're welcome, Hunting and stuff. Please go run his playlist. We got to get his watch time up. Please do that. Chris is a great friend of mine. He works hard. Great content on his channel. You won't be disappointed. All those who love hunting, food plotting, and just good, honest information, you're going to want to go over. And Hunting and Stuff said Chris is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you, Carolina. So getting back to the vertical, there's good and bads to this in a way. I always look at the goods more than the bads, but the vertical live feed, okay, it goes to that because it's a live feed. So people are on here watching specific lives. So that gives you more watch time because the people that watch lives are usually going to stay in the lives a little bit longer. So I like that idea, okay? Now, it goes to the shorts feed as well. And you know as well as I do, the shorts feed is sort of, it's like a catch-22. Like you'll get subs and stuff from the shorts feed, but you really don't get the watch time unless the short goes crazy and you get a lot of watch time for it. But this goes also into the shorts feed. Now, the only bad thing about that is you'll get a view if somebody stops on the live. Like they don't have to watch much of it, but if they stop on it, it's considered a view. Now, with my channel and like your channel, Chris, you're more interested in the watch time. You want that watch time. That's what they're basing. Hey, Kevin, that's what you want, and you're looking for your watch time. So we want to get people on these verticals watching more, from the shorts feed. So we're trying to pull people over from that. So it's like a catch-22 with the shorts feed, but I like the vertical live feed because people are in there specifically to watch lives, so they tend to stick around a little longer. You know what I mean? So you'll get more watch time from those kind of people. So that's why I wanted to bring you up here, just show you this, so you can do your own lives too with your food plotting. And that's great information that you have. So we can, you can get in there, and that can help you as well. So thank you, Kevin, for being in here. Thank you, Carolina Kind Family, for liking and sharing. I appreciate that. And I like verticals on the front. Yeah. Go ahead,
so
Chris.
your one bait challenge, what?
Yeah.
Ordering your baits,
no,
and they're fishing against you.
What it was, the one bait challenge, it's not against me. It's we had 10 channels enter, okay? And what we did, John and I, we asked everybody what kind of bait they would like to use. So everybody picked their baits, okay? Like what they would like to use in the challenge. And then what we did was we put all the baits on a spin wheel, and we spun the wheel, and it landed on the chatterbait. So then John and I went out and purchased all the chatterbaits, 10 chatterbaits, and we sent them out to each person that was in it. And what their challenge is they have to make a video using that one bait and send it in, and then we're going to vote on it. And whoever has the best video. Now, it don't mean you have to catch the biggest fish, the most fish, or anything. It's just overall video, who's voting on it. So then we put it on our community tabs and with all the links to the videos, and then you go watch the video, and then you vote in the community tab which video is the best. And then we have prizes and stuff. We're going to do a live with that.
Cool.
Now, the Off the Hook Challenge, City Sticker Chris, was shared by IL Fishing. Thank you, IL. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So the Off the Hook Challenge is something different. It's a little confusing because we have it both going at like the same time. Every year, Chris, and I'm going to do this every year, is I put it out there where it's free to enter, and I can't be there. And you know how tough it is. You're in PA, I'm in PA, and how many times have we fished together?
Haven't yet.
None. It's hard to get together. So I figured the next best thing is going live together on StreamYard, where I'm on my boat and you're fishing on your boat, or you're fishing from the bank. So why not put that into a contest? And if we go with the biggest bass, the most total inches, we can do any kind of stipulation that we want. So, and it gives us an opportunity to fish together. Anybody around the world, we can fish together anybody can fish live stream. But it's free to enter. And if you beat me with our stipulations, like I played Lindia and I actually beat her. I caught 2 fish. She caught 1 fish. So, and that was really highly unlikely that Lindia would catch only 1 fish, but I ended up beating her. Well, if you beat me, I send you a prize. Okay. Like a fishing reel, some of my apparel, something like that. If you beat me, all I get is if I beat you, all I get is bragging rights. It's free to enter. It's something just to get people fishing and do something fun. You know what I mean? So yeah, the most different species caught be good. Yeah, that would be good. But we're doing only bass right now, and that could change in the future. We could do different things, different stipulations, like top water baits only, spinner baits only. There's so much stuff we can do with that to make it fun. So that's why I wanted to start it this year and get it out there. And and if you want to schedule it with me, you just email me. It's usually going to be a weekend because I'm up the lake every weekend, except these past 2 weeks. And then we'll schedule a time, and it's just going to be a 2-hour session. That we don't want to keep people on there for 4, 5, 6 hours. So we're going to do a 2-hour session, bass only. You can fish from the bank, from a canoe, from an airplane, wherever you want to fish from. You can use live bait against me. Now, I won't be using live bait. I'll be using lures, but anybody can use any bait they want, but it has to be for bass only. And then we fish, and if you beat me, you get a prize. And if I beat you, I get bragging rights. And that's just kind of a fun thing to do. So I'm starting that this year to keep going to next year, and every year keep doing that. Hey, Crossover, thanks for coming in.
I'm at a lake this weekend. There's a lake up here. And
yeah, I know.
The Army Corps engineer just fixed, what do you call it? Whatever you want to call it. And it's like 165 acres, something like that. And dry for 2 or 3 years. They electrocuted all the fish and took them to another lake, emptied it, and they fixed filled it, and restocked. And, people are starting to get in there and catch fish already. So this weekend.
Very cool. Very cool.
Hit that cool motor. We're gonna cheat. So.
Yeah, whatever makes it work. As long as you're out there fishing, that's all we count.
Yeah. It's been since I've been out. So definitely.
I've been itching. I've been on softball tournaments the last 2 weeks, and it's been tough. It's been tough. I've been wanting to get up there so bad, but this weekend I'll be up there, and then I'll be up there every weekend until the 3rd week of August. And then we close it up and we rent it out to the school students. And then all my hunting stuff starts coming out. I start getting really, getting going to my hunting.
When did when do you start it?
I think it's the 3rd week of August is our last weekend up there.
You got to get up there and fish.
Yes, before then you have to, for sure. We'll have to talk for sure. I know Jason.
Possible.
Yeah, we could do whatever. I know Jason's coming up.
Maybe.
Yeah, you ain't that far from there though, right?
No, I could probably be to your place in a little over.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Because it takes me to get to Adam's place. It takes me like an hour and 5 minutes from my place.
Yeah,
to Adam's. Yeah. Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that. So let's get to why you're on here, really. Besides being a buddy of mine and coming up here, but let's talk about food plots, Chris. What have you been doing this summer for food plotting? Like let's start from the beginning of summer. Like how do you prepare? Like, what are you doing? What do you do during the summer leading up to right now? Let's start there, and then we'll go from here forward.
Okay. I have to take you back then, because my preparation starts the fall before. And what I plant my fall plots last year, when I put here, I also put in clover and chicory and things like that, so that it would get established the last part of the growth, get that in the ground. When everything starts to green up, I've got about the end of March and frost seed over top of that, and let to that already established. I've got a pretty good stand coming in summer. You know, the way weather patterns have been crazy the last 3 years. There's the monsoon again, and what that plots is it down. What happens is weeds go totally.
Yeah.
The weed will grow in monsoon, better in monsoon, but you cannot stop to have tap roots that go down feet. Your plot has tap, they're inches. So when they're not getting any moisture, the weed down, can't stop them. Either mow a lot, weeds at bay, you use herbicide.
Gotcha.
I tried to mow this year, getting to be a chore. My lawn, you know.
Yeah.
A week, and I was sick of that. So, and I went over there and sprayed the eye moth. What you want to do is you want to and let it rebound for a week, maybe actually, and let those weeds grow, because you need as much say you need to land that herbicide to land on.
Okay. Yep. Let me stop you right there for 1 second, Chris. Peterson Farms came in and said, howdy y'all, and Bullets and Barbecue shared your channel link, and Crossover Paranormal just picked you up.
I appreciate that, folks.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Make a comment somewhere, so it's.
Yep. And I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to read the chat for you. That's all.
Cool. So start to grow back that surface.
Yeah.
It's better 8 inches. Okay. Preferably 6.
Yeah.
And if it gets over top of that, your herbicide has less. It has.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
We've got a higher.
Okay. Let me ask you something. Now, when you prepare, when you said you prepare your food plots last fall for this spring, are you planning in the fall to try to prevent weed growth in the spring?
Hey, when you plant your, the weeds are on their way out. They're going to go dormant. And so that's why if you like mid-August or later, you won't have the weed competition you will.
Yeah.
They won't strangle out your plot. That's why fall plots are held off later in the year. So fall, you know, August is usually as late as Labor Day.
Yeah.
And then I don't get that weed. And like I said, I add in the clover and chicory because for the winter, all that stuff is either just go dead and dormant. If you didn't add something to it, you'll feel much.
Yeah, or weeds. Or weeds.
It'll to defer those weeds away, especially some of the seeds that you put in consistency to, they put off certain chemicals that will actually some of that stuff is like, you know, has a way of putting that winter wheat and things.
Yep.
It's nice to have stuff mixed in that for your planting in the fall.
Okay.
What I did, spraying, and then I waited 2 weeks and went in and mowed again, and I pretty much have a pretty pure plot again over there. My clover,
okay. Yeah,
thistles here and there.
Okay.
What I did after I got thistles was I went over and then I spot sprayed with a glide, and they withered away. So I got them pretty clean right now.
Okay, cool. Now I want to go back a little bit because you mentioned 2 chemicals. You said IMOX when you were explaining it, and you also said glide. Can you?
Yes.
Hey Dave, how are you, buddy? Gotta love Thailand's in here. Can you explain to the people in the chat the difference between IMOX and the glycol, please?
Okay, the glyphosate it's non-specific. Is it basically whatever it touches, it'll kill. Some of the broadleafs, so it's great on like grasses, leaf stuff. You want to add in some 2,4-D, but that is so you got to be careful.
That's killing everything. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna kill everything with.
Hey, Mom.
If you're looking to make a brand new plot, mix those 2 together and spray it, and that would be a total burn down before we'd start. That is specifically to use that like in your clovers, your chicories, anything that fixes soybeans and peanuts and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I'm on leaves at the same time and not kill legumes, so it's safe.
Okay.
And it's safe on chicory, like 3 to 4 inches tall or bigger. You know, if you're spraying it before then, you may have a kill of good strong clover.
Gotcha. Good information there.
See, I had pots, and to be safe is to tell them no. Basically, use it on your legumes and your cloves. Someone use IMOX to do a burn down, and actually, you probably know what the residual time of that chemical being, because you take a chance. You take a chance of spraying chemicals in the dirt for 3 or 4 weeks, and you might actually plant a week or 2 after you sprayed, and what it'll happen. So you could screw yourself to the residual time on your chemical. So, and I don't.
Go ahead.
IMOX.
Okay. Because
specifically mentioned what it is. So I tell people
there's a myth out there. There's a myth out there, Chris. I'm sorry to interrupt you. There's a myth out there saying like when you spray chemicals, when it hits the dirt, it neutralizes. That's not true, is it?
Only with glyphosate they claim that is. Glyphosate is supposedly when it dirt, it neutralizes.
Okay.
Anything by that, read the label.
Yeah.
Contact the company and ask them.
Yeah.
But I
and
can't.
That's a big thing. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to mention real quick, Chris, in this video here, in this live, is I want to give a big shout out to Domain Seed, Spencer and all the guys over at Domain Seed. They make a great product. I'm partners with them this year. You've been using them. You're the one that turned me on to Domain Seed. So I wanted to give a big shout out to Domain Seed. I just put a bunch of Domain Seed in, and it's very, very scary because I put it in last weekend. We put it in, and we didn't get no rain, and it was dry. And that's going to lead to my next question on you, Chris. But I put it in, and then finally it rained Wednesday, and then it rained a couple more times. So I'm hoping that jump started. But going back to the dry part of that, okay, obviously, hey, John, thanks for coming in. I broke my tiller, right? I broke it, I guess I could say that. Hey, Daniel, thanks for coming back. I broke the shaft of the rotor tiller. So the ground was hard. When I was tilling, it looked like the woods were on fire. It was that dry, okay? We planted in that dry dirt. We didn't, we rotor tilled and we disced. We didn't water it, do anything. We wanted to we were hoping that nature would wet it for us, and it did on Wednesday. We planted it Sunday. It rained Wednesday, which was good. We have cameras set up, so we knew it got wet and it rained. And then it rained a couple of times after that. But what I want to bring I want to bring this to everybody's attention, and I wanted you to answer it, is if I wouldn't have got rain, okay, in that period, how long does that seed last in that dry dirt? And does that dry dirt lose minerals when it's that dry that it becomes like nothing to the seed? Or what happens if you're planting in that dry dirt, and how long does it take for that seed to die off, where you have to go back and maybe replant? Like if I did it last Sunday and it didn't rain and I still didn't get rain, how long do you have for that seed to maybe come back or die off or whatever?
Well, necessarily wouldn't add unless it rotted.
Okay.
To actually lay in the dirt, and act like would germinate as long as it. Your biggest enemy, the biggest enemy, turkeys, and scratch up that seed and eat it. That's your biggest problem you're working.
Yeah.
Until it had enough moisture to germinate. Could be humidity, could be dew.
Dew, yeah.
I planted plots before and didn't get rain for dew was enough. It was heavy
to
enough
to
germinate.
Yeah. And
you can get germination without rain sometimes, believe it or not.
Okay, because I've been getting up for work in the morning, and I've been coming out, and my truck has been soaked with the humidity and the wetness. So I'm thinking that helps in the morning with the seed as well, to get that dew on the ground, that high humidity, and have that water settle on the ground. It ain't much, but it gives it something. You know what I mean?
No, but it'll probably be enough to germinate. It really would. As long as it doesn't burn off too quickly.
Okay, now going back to the Domain Seed, I want you to let everybody know, what did you plant so far? When are you going to plant? And then I'll let them know what I planted as well last Sunday. So what have you been working with this year? When did you plant it? And when are you going to plant if you're going to plant anything else?
Like I said, going back to last, a fall plot of no BS was in mixed with kid, and the no BS is it's a it was an oat, rape, and
Does it have tail in it? Does it have kale?
It does not. I'm missing.
Okay.
Anyhow, that it's a nice mix, and
Okay.
I put the clover in with it, mixed it. So, like I said, everything over to clover then.
Yeah.
So that gets established. Clover, second year, clover grows very slow, perennial clover, unless you're using annuals will grow quicker, but they're dead after the year. So I like to use perennials so they last and last. So that's what now going forward, I have of clover. I have 3 blocks at my destination plots. Divider blocks are clover. Back kid. So block I save, and I put it. There's a tree stand that I this block, and that leaves a fall plot.
Okay.
It's going to be wingman, and wingman make a mixture, stopper and bombshell mixed in with it. So it's some hybrid brassicas with a color. So it's going to be very top heavy with leaves, big leafy greens on top.
Yeah, like tonnage.
Kohlrabi grows above the ground.
Yeah.
So that bulb's exposed.
Yeah.
And then why exposed, it's going to be greeny, Yeah. I mean, it should be participates here. I'm actually that was their new,
and that's what I planted. I planted wingman, big sexy, and all that. But Daniel from Living MN said he's planting kale and purple top turnips next week. So
yeah, I like.
Yeah, I like the kale. I like the rape too. Down in my place, they love the rape. They like the rape in there. They've been hitting my dad's plot
because it fills in real well. That's why they put That's why they put rape in mixture. Because if you just
the weeds off too.
Pardon?
I think I like the rape because of that spread, and it keeps the weed growth down a little bit as well. Yep.
It fills in. It's good in the mixture, because not only do they eat it, it shades out bare dirt, keeps weeds at bay, and they like it. I mean, it seems to be something that they can graze on, and it keeps on well.
Hey, Steve from Wyoming, thanks for coming in, buddy.
Hey, Steve.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. Like what you're doing there. I mean, I love watching your growth and your food plots and what you're doing out there. But another shout out to Domain Seed. That's what we're using in our plots this year. We got a little squirrely. We wanted to do it a little early because over the past couple of years, we've been doing it a little bit late, like Labor Day, and I feel that we ain't getting that maturity, that 60-day maturity period when we're doing that. For our frost, because last year our frost hit a little bit early in October, and I wanted to get it in. Now my buddy planted some domain, and he planted some other stuff that I don't want to say the name of, but he planted probably a month before we planted last week, and it just burned it up. The only thing that grew was the domain purple top turnips. He planted green machine as well, and the green machine grew in the shady areas, but not the sunny. It got burned out. It was hanging on by a thread. So what we did was we went back this past week, and we were nervous about it being bare. So we went over it with Smackdown. We put beets in there, or turnips in there, just turnips. So we planted, and I don't know, that new product that I was talking about, the forage oats that they came out with. Spencer told me, he's like, hey, try that. I think you'll like it. So one of our main food plots above it, it's about 1.5 acres. We planted the forage oats on that top, and then it separates it by a gas line. And then below it, we planted green machine. And then we had some forage oats left over that we overseeded with forage oats. And I called Spencer that day. And that's another thing, guys. Domain Seed, they help you out a lot. If you have any questions or anything, you can call them, and they'll give you a little bit of advice. So I wasn't sure if I could overseed that with the leftover forage oats, and Spencer said absolutely you can put that on the green machine. So that's our main plot in the center of our property. Now my dad's plot, we have the Wingman and the Big Sexy up at top. I put the Wingman in front of his stand, and then off to the right where we had clover last year, it actually died off this year around our fruit trees and everything. So we just tilled everything up and dissed it and replanted the Big Sexy. And then next year we're going to plant the clover in May over there. And that remind me to come back to that because I have a question for you on the clover. So he had a good stand of clover to the right last year, and the deer were using it, but it's out of bow range there. Okay. But they were coming into that plot. They were working their way over to, we planted Big Sexy last year. So this year we went with the Wingman because I like that tonnage. I like that kohlrabi being on top of the ground for later in the season when it sweetens up. We got the turnips, the kale, the kohlrabi in there. So we're trying that. And Wingman's fairly new to both of us. So we wanted to try that. So I planted the Wingman, planted the Big Sexy over to the right. And then we had Green Machine that we planted on the other side in line with all these food plots. So we got Green Machine, Big Sexy, Smackdown, Forage Oats, and what else? In the Wingman. So that's what I planted this year. And we have it in the center of our property. And since we've been planting for the last 5 or 6 years, we've been getting a lot of good deer coming in, a lot of big deer coming in because we're offering what I consider the filet mignon because around there ain't much but some soybean and maybe some corn, but we're trying to get you that. We're getting that high protein foliage, and I want that tonnage, especially in the smaller plots. I want the most tonnage that I can get because I believe a deer eats 7 tons a year, one deer. So we're trying to get that up. I think you're frozen up, Chris, a little bit. I don't know if it's frozen. Can you hear me? Yeah, we can hear you fine. So you're fine. It'll yeah, it'll probably come back. You could, if you wanted to, you could probably get out and come back in. I don't know though for sure, but you're fine if you're talking. You're fine unless you want to do it.
I ain't gonna worry about going on.
But okay, that's fine.
Going forward, like we were something there in the spring.
Yeah, for sure. And
so everything I do, I'm planning forward for the next season.
Yeah, and that's what we need to do more. Yeah, we need to do more. Guys, but yeah.
Work,
Yes. Well, that's what I was getting back to with that clover question that I wanted to ask you. Okay, so
it's fine.
The clover, first of all, I couldn't find clover on the shelves. I had to order it from Domain, but we wanted to get it in, so we didn't order the clover this year. Okay, I wanted to, and I wanted to put that clover stand back up at my dad's spot, or we wanted to put a clover the half of our main food plot. You know how I put the forage oats above it? I wanted to put the clover down below, so next year we didn't have to buy as much seed and try to be budget friendly with our plots. So I wanted to get a clover stand at least half of our field. But I was nervous about planting the clover now. But I did talk to Spencer, and Spencer said that we could have planted the clover this year because over this winter, that I didn't realize this, the clover will establish a root system in the winter, and I didn't know that. Yeah. So next year we're liming in May, and we're going to plant our clover on that half of the food plot in May, which should give it plenty of time to establish into the fall, and then for the next year it should be established, and we can just overseed as needed.
Year 2,
yeah,
it's usually pretty.
Yeah.
Right.
I got you. Yeah, Daniel, we see that. Mm-hmm.
I just use that center portion.
Yeah. And that's what I want to do with our main food plot is I eventually what our main food plot is probably 3, almost 4 acres total. Okay. So eventually, if I get that clover established below it, and I didn't want to just put all clover in and it not go. So what I wanted to do was have something of value up on the top of it, the top half, which is the forage oats, what I wanted to try because it was new and it was recommended by Spencer. So we put that into seed. I'm not saying that every seed is going to grow because, like I said, we have rape. The rape grows great down there, and the deer love it. Sometimes they won't even touch like we don't even plant radishes anymore because they don't like them. They don't eat the radishes down there. It's just they don't prefer that food source down there. So we stopped getting mixes with a lot of radish or just radishes. We stopped planting them. We got the turnips and the kales and the rape and now the kohlrabies we're going to try because that's something new. But I want to get that clover established on our main food plot because next year when we plant it in May next year, I should say, it's going to be a 2-year process. So I'm going to get the half of it established for next year. And then the year after that, I'd like to establish in May again the top half of that with the clover. So we have one big clover field in the middle uh, of our land. So we have sort of an all-around food source all year for them, a high-protein food source other than the browse that they already have, which they have a ton of browse in the summer down there. There's a ton of food. Plus we do have our fruit trees mixed in with our food plots and things like that. Like if you've seen in my videos, we have pears, we're having chestnuts up there. We have pears, apples, a couple of different kind of apples up there. So we got a lot of different variety. We have some blueberry, raspberry bushes and things like that they can munch on in the summer. So I want to get a clover plot established for our main plot because that's 3 or 4 acres. And if we get that established, that takes our cost and budget down. Whereas, we're not buying enough seed for 3 or 4 acres. We're buying enough seed for 1 acre just to overseed the 4 acres. Do you know what I mean? And fill in. So that's what we want to do. And that'll keep, as our club in our place down there, that'll keep our budget down with the seed so we can buy the other seed for the other spots and have what I consider I consider my dad, his is about a half an acre, almost an acre. I'm going to say it's more towards an acre right now because we widened it and made it bigger. But I consider that almost like a shot plot for us because it's in the middle of the woods. Now, that's a big shot plot, an acre, but it's a good leafy, green, high protein area where they come into all the time. So I want to keep that always different than our main plots so they travel. I want to give them a variety of things to eat because like you might like pepperoni on your pizza and I like sausage, like and deer are like that too. They might not like this, but they like that. And we want to get that movement on our land and we want to divert it to the center of our property. So we got the wagon wheel effect, like we're trails coming in from other properties that don't have what we have coming into our property. And then we hunt those paths, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's what we want to do down there, and that's our goal to get a clover field established where we can mow it. Once it gets up in flowers, we mow it, keep the weeds down. That way, we don't have to buy that much clover seed. We can only need to buy like an acre's worth of clover seed to go over the existing clover just to overseed it, and then spend our money on our after the season with our deer feeders and our protein blocks to concentrate after because we're not really interested in the summer plots as much because one, the cost to keep fall plots and summer plots are really expensive for us and we're on a budget, and we don't get down there to maintain it in the summer, so that's just going to get overtaken by weeds. So that would be a waste, I think, for us to do summer plots. There's plenty of food down there in the summer for us. But I want to draw them deer in that, September, October, November time. That's why we plant just fall plots. All right. So Chris left. He got taken off. There he is. Let's see if he come back. Chris, are you there? Yeah. Yeah. You're still a little bit. You're still frozen. Yes. But I could hear you. Yeah. But I can hear you. Did you get out of the chat totally?
I got stuff coming up on here and I had to leave.
Okay.
What's going on?
Maybe try. That's all right. But if you wanted to, you could probably leave the chat and then come back in on that link again, and then see what happens. So Chris is gone right now. We're going to see you got some technical difficulty going on up there. But if he leaves the chat, maybe comes in. He can't hear you. Chris, are you there? All right, that's a good. Daniel, can you hear Chris now? Can you guys hear him in the chat? Let's make sure that everybody can hear you and see, because Daniel said you were a little bit glitchy before, so, and then now he said he can't hear you, so we're going to see if he can hear you now.
My phone's locked up here. I can't.
No, he can't hear him. Okay, I can hear you on my end. So maybe, can you go out and just get out of your phone, like stop it, get out of here, and then come back in on that link again? Yeah, go out, stop the stream, go out, switch over. Hey, what's up, buddy? Switch over, like shut your phone off and turn it back on if you want, and then come back in on that link again, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, because this is all new to me too with the verticals. I'm trying to see how it works with this. You know what I mean? So yeah, go out and try to come back in on that link that I sent you. Because my dad said he can't hear you either. So, but you guys can hear me fine. Dad, Wego, Daniel, you guys, Steve, you guys can hear me fine still. Chris is frozen right there. He's staring into nothing up there. So, but yeah, so that's what we're trying to do down there. And we were praying for rain, guys, like big time. And it finally happened Wednesday this past week. So I think we're working on 2 weeks of the plots being planted. Now my buddy Vince, he has a camera set up down there. Okay, you can hear me. My buddy Vince has a camera set up down there, and we've been texting back and forth. And he's been sending me pictures of his camera because he has a cell camera. So he's been sending pictures. I could hear you, but your screen is still frozen on. Oh, there you go. I could see you. You're moving a little bit, but can you hear me? I could see you, Chris, if you can't hear me. And you came back in on the link? Yeah, that's weird. I could hear him, but he can't hear me, so. But yeah, so that water is a big thing to get that stuff going. So Vince has been sending me pictures of turkey in the field eating our seed probably and things like that. But it got wet and it should be growing, and I can't wait to go down there and see. I'm going to try to get down there. Soon to check out the plots. And I do have a video coming out. Check out my video tomorrow. I'm gonna be uploading the video tomorrow. Every week at 7 p.m. Eastern. So Chris just got off again, and let's see. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, it's just freezing up a little bit, so it's probably the internet connection, Chris. But I can see you now. You're moving. It's a little glitchy, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Once they got online.
Yeah, it's too much stuff.
Yeah, Yeah, and I can see you now, so. Yeah, but the internet, your bandwidth is probably taken up a little bit, so. But yeah, so what?
Yeah.
You're fine. You're moving now. I can see you moving. Yeah, I could see you. I could see you fine. So now what are you planning on doing next? Are you planting any more this year? Because I know you guys have had you put out a podcast about the late season planting and stuff like that. When do you recommend planting the fall plots? Like we went early. I know we went early, so people can yell at me for planting in July, but we wanted to get it in, and I wanted to get that full maturity growth out of mine and plus some. So we went in July. We usually do it in like almost at the end of August, and it doesn't. They just seem like they grow, but they're stunted. They only get a few inches high. They don't get to their full potential. So we went a month earlier today, and I know everybody says, "Oh, don't plant in July," but it was the middle of July, second week of July, and I think it's just a test for us. We're going to see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I always recommend like anywhere from August 15th to Labor Day.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I've never done that. I just try.
Yeah.
Try.
You're fine. I can still see you. You're fine. No, that's all right, man. We're gonna be ending it soon anyway, buddy. But hey, everybody in here, go over, check out Chris's channel, give him some watch time. He's looking for his watch time, so go play his playlist. He has a lot of great information on his channel. He was doing some reviews past couple weeks here, so go over, check those out, run his playlist, and make sure you give him a sub for sure. And then yeah, because my son will be coming out here very soon, so we're gonna end it. Is there anything, any tips or anything that you could leave with the people that are in the chat for food plotting? If you can give them any tips, if you like some of the most important tip you can give somebody for planning food plots, let us know.
Give somebody is don't oil samples. In a bag of,
yeah,
like you could get a soil done. It'll tell you what you need. Possibly
yeah,
throw this on and you won't need it. You know, you need. That's like the best.
yeah, I agree.
Don't bury your seed too deep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not knowing your.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good information.
Was the one I bet you that.
Yeah, because those seeds are like pepper, man. I mean, I planted SmackDown, and I was like, I went with a hand spreader because we used to do a spreader on a quad, and I had to go about 100 miles an hour before it emptied. So I like to be a little more hands on, and you know, seed, the by hand because I could feel it and see it, and you could actually watch it because the SmackDown. I mean, there's millions of seeds in that tub, and it was just like I had it on one or a half, and I was putting out seed. You know what I mean? So when we reseeded the my buddy's Vince's plot, we used that SmackDown, and it was like pepper, man. But we got it all seeded by hand. I walked and walked and walked. Um, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Daniel said how many hours. He's got a couple hundred hours to make up there, Daniel. So we need as much help as we can get for him. Liga's best tip is to be the soil samples. I have that set about that. I have to say about that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what he meant. I'm thinking he meant soil samples. He wanted soil samples. Another tip that I got is when you're hand spreading and you're walking through these plowed fields, you better have some good ankle support. I'll tell you that, because your ankles get all twisted up. What I did was I had Vince ride the four-wheeler down through the food plots, and I walked every other tire track and seeded, and that's how that gives you like a little landmark where you can walk, so you know that you're hitting everything. And I used the tire track so I wasn't tearing up my ankles. So you'll see that in the video that's coming out. And that's a little tip for everybody. If you have a four-wheeler or a quad or something, drive your quad to tire tracks, try to drive up and down your food plots, and then every other one, or however you're seeding, spread out according to those tire tracks, because you can tear your ankles up on them tilled fields in disc fields. Your ankles will kill you. And so he was doing that for me, and that helped out a lot. So that's a tip that you might want to take in consideration next time you're hand seeding a food plot, is run your tires down it, and then we'll follow your track, follow the tire tracks and seed. And then we always roll our plots. We have a roller down there, and we want that good seed to soil contact. But we'll see. We'll see. It was an experiment this year. We went early, so we're going to see how it grows. I'm anxious to see later in like October how much growth we get and how higher they are, because last year I said we got good growth, but it seemed like they stunted at some point, because all of our fruit trees stunted as well, and our pears stayed on after into December. We had pears still on the tree, and those deer were jumping up and shaking the tree to get these pears. Now, they were hard as a brick. They were about the size of a golf ball, but they had nutrients in them, and they wanted them. And if you look at Theo's video, he shot that doe off of that. That was after November, and he shot that doe off of our pear tree that was there. Hey, Randy, what's up? So, yeah.
I'm probably going to have to go.
All right, man.
And
yeah, man, but that's fine, dude. Hey, I appreciate you coming on here. We're gonna do more of these. Once you get your computer up and running, we can do some more of them. We will definitely get together here. Yeah, 'tis the season right now for food plotting and getting ready for deer season. So you'll see Chris and I on a lot more lives coming up here real soon, guys. So yeah, Chris, if you want to jump off, I'm gonna do my closing anyway. So we're good. But thank you.
I'll catch you later.
I appreciate you coming up. Make sure you guys are watching City Sticker Chris. Thanks, Chris. Later. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Well, that was City Sticker Chris. Make sure you're going over, give him a sub, give him some help on his watch time, the playlist. Like I said, I don't agree with all the playlists. You're going to watch them once and you're going to get the credit for it. But if you keep repeating it, try to move to something different. Don't watch the same thing over and over. YouTube's not dumb. They're not going to give you all the watch hours if you just keep playing the same video over and over. So make sure you're switching it up a little bit. But yeah, I wanted to get, we're starting to get I'm starting to get the itch, the hunting itch. I still got a couple weeks here of fishing left over. Yeah, we did the one bait challenge earlier. We talked about it. You can go over to my community tab. I have 4 videos on there. And then if you want to go over to John and Lindia's to vote for those 3 videos, we split them up between both of us. I have all the links on my community tab, and John has all the links on his. So if you want to vote for WeGo, if you want to vote for Bogley's Keeping It Real, or you want to vote for James from Crankin' and Yankin', you got to go over to John's channel and vote on that. If you want to vote for Conroy's Fishing Girl, Fishhead, and Snake River, you go to my channel and you can vote for one of them. 1 vote only, and I think it only takes 1 vote in there anyway. But all the links are there. Go watch the videos. It doesn't matter if they catch fish or not. It's just basically the best video made. We want to get you all voting on that. We're going to let it run for a while, maybe a week and through this weekend. And then maybe next week we'll announce when we're going to do the live for all the prizes and the winners. So keep an eye out for that. Share our community tabs out. Get people to vote on your video. You got to go out and promote it, man. Push it out there. Share it all out. Get out there and get it going. Next time we do it, hopefully there's more. We had 10 total get into it, but then only 7 entered. So 3 channels didn't enter. So in our live, we're going to have prizes for the chat people that are in the chat as well. We're going to use those 3 prizes that were going to the creators, but they didn't enter. So we're going to use those prizes and give those away in the chat, probably along with some other prizes as well. All our contestants are going to get something as well. It's going to be based off where you place in the video, where you placed, your video placed. So we have a lot of great prizes. I want to thank all the sponsors and all the people that donated. We had my mom and dad. We had Matt from Wannabe Outdoors donate some money for the shipping and prizes cost. We have New View Hunting. We had Cam Park. We had FishAngler, Fishoholic. We had a bunch of people donate prizes and stuff like that. So yeah, and I'm working on a new live so I can do some live fishing. I'm working on a new style of a live, so keep an eye out for that. I don't really want to tell anybody about it yet until I do it and get it out there so you guys can watch. I'm hoping everything works out. I'm working with Christian from Ulatech. He's the owner of Ulatech, so we got some ideas brewing between both of us. So we're trying to do that. Possibly some new partners coming up for hunting season here real soon. So keep an eye out on all of that. Remember to go over to my channel every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I premiere video every Wednesday. I've been doing that for the last, I think, 2 years, almost 3 years now, which is pretty hard to do, but I manage to do 1 video at least a week. Sometimes I sneak in 2. I don't always do a premiere on all my videos, but sometimes I sneak in like that 4th of July video. That was a premiere though, but sometimes I'll sneak a video in here and there that's not a premiere. So hey, David Smith, what's up, buddy? Thank you for coming in. So make sure you're going over to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Share us out. We really do appreciate that. We appreciate each and every one of you coming in and spending your time with us. That's why we do it. We love the comments. We love the community, everybody coming in and supporting us. We really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Like I said, that's why I do it. I love doing this. Hopefully you learn something from me, because I do learn a lot, going on YouTube and watching other videos and things like that. You see a lot of cool things. We believe we have something for everybody here. We do a lot of family videos. We do fishing, hunting. We do our vacations and stuff like that, camping. So I was trying a little bit of cooking. I haven't done much cooking lately on the video because they seem to just not do real well. But we try to show you our life. And that's why I do these vertical lives now with you. Like, I'm sitting here waiting for my son to get out of karate. So I'm trying to get more personal with you guys to show you our lifestyle and what we're doing with the kids. We're going 120 mile an hour every day. It's just constant going with life, with the kids' activities, with YouTube, with fishing, hunting, with the jobs. And I want to bring that all in my videos, show you a little bit more in our videos, not just getting on the boat and fishing, but showing you behind the scenes stuff and putting more in our videos to show you our lifestyle and what we're doing. So that's what I'm trying to bring to you guys. I'm trying to bring you the honest information, trying to give you as much knowledge as I have. And I love, like I said, learning from you guys. So I try to put it out there, what works for me. By no means am I a professional. By no means do I know everything. But I just put it out there and show you what works for me. So we really do appreciate each and every one of you. So Thea's going to be coming out here real soon. So we're going to end this live. Once again, I appreciate it. Go over and vote on the 1 bait challenge. Hunting and stuff, what's up, brother? Thank you. We're going to be ending this right now. So, and like I always say, guys, take a kid fishing or hunting. We want to preserve our sport and pass it on to future generations. And we will see you.